Looking back, as the Martin Luther King Community Council began considering the theme for this year's Martin Luther King celebration, we considered Dr. King's calling as a Baptist preacher and were reminded of a quotation from Deuteronomy 4:9. Only take heed to thyself, and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart. But teach them to thy sons and thy sons' sons. These words admonished us to look back and learn from those things that have happened in our past, to honor those people who have impacted our lives as we march forward. So let us look back at some Lynchburgers who have been positive role models for us. We can learn from the obstacles that they have overcome, the challenges that they have faced, and the dedication that they have exhibited. In the field of education, Pauline Maloney was known as Lynchburg's First Lady of Education. A graduate of Howard University, she worked in Lynchburg Public Schools from 1937 to 1970, most notably as a guidance counselor and administrator at Dunbar High School. In 1977, Maloney became the first woman rector of Norfolk State University. For 30 years, Clarence William C. was the principal of Paul Laurence Dunbar High School, Lynchburg's secondary school for African American students. Believing that a successful school and its community are inseparable, Mr. C. was committed to shaping Dunbar into a school of academic excellence. He became the first high school principal elected president of the Association of Colleges and Secondary Schools. And after his retirement in 1968, Mr. C. taught at Lynchburg College and served 2 terms as Lynchburg's first Black City Council member since the 1880s and the city's first Black vice mayor. Mary Alice Franklin Hatwood Futrell was a 1958 graduate of Dunbar High School. She received a degree in business education from Virginia State University and later earned a master's degree in secondary education from George Washington University, joining their faculty in 1992 while earning her PhD in educational policy studies. In 1995, she was promoted to Dean of the Graduate School of Education and Human Development. In the field of medicine, Dr. Robert Wesley graduated from Meharry Medical College. In 1945, he interned at Harlem Hospital and started his medical practice in Lynchburg in 1947, where he practiced for 30 years. Dr. Vivian Penn attended the segregated schools of Lynchburg, Virginia. From an early age, she aspired to be a doctor, so she studied hard and earned a scholarship to Wellesley College. After graduating, Vivian Penn entered medical school at the University of Virginia as the only African American and the only woman in her college. She went on to complete her residency at Massachusetts General Hospital while serving as a teaching fellow at Harvard Medical School. Dr. Penn has served on the faculties of Tufts University's School of Medicine and the Howard University College of Medicine. In 1991, Dr. Penn was appointed the first full-time director of the Office of Research on Women's Health at the National Institute of Health. Sports. Dr. Robert Walter Whirlwind Johnson established a medical practice in Lynchburg in 1933, where he became active in local politics and the civil rights movement. Dr. Johnson built a tennis court adjacent to his home to provide African Americans the opportunity to participate in this sport. His encouragement and support resulted in 2 of his protégés, Althea Gibson and Arthur Ashe, being the first African American male and female to win the Wimbledon championship. Besides Dr. Johnson, numerous African Americans from our city have impacted athletics. Keith Lamar Hamilton, a Heritage High School graduate, played football at the University of Pittsburgh and was selected in the 1992 NFL Draft and is a former football defensive tackle for the New York Giants. Romeo Crennel is an African American football coach who is currently the assistant head coach for the Houston Texans and has been the head coach of the Cleveland Browns and the Kansas City Chiefs. Cornell Brown, an E.C. Glass High School and Virginia Tech graduate, earned All-American honors twice and was a linebacker in the NFL season and currently coaches collegiate football. His brother, Reuben Brown, also an EC Glass graduate, played collegiately for the University of Pittsburgh, was drafted by the Buffalo Bills, and went on to play in the NFL for 14 seasons. In the fields of science and technology, the son of a renowned poet, Anne Spencer, Chauncey Spencer, an aviation pioneer and civil rights leader, was born in Lynchburg. Because no one in the South would give him flying lessons, he moved to Chicago, joined with a group of African American aviators in organizing the National Airmen Association of America. His efforts were instrumental in allowing blacks to train as military pilots, and Spencer is best known for his affiliation with the Tuskegee Airmen. If it were not for the accomplishments of Chauncey Spencer, we might never have heard the name Leland Melvin. Melvin, a Heritage High School graduate, received a B.S. degree in chemistry from the University of Richmond and a Master's of Science degree in Materials Science Engineering from the University of Virginia. Mr. Melvin is an American engineer and former NASA astronaut who is a veteran of 2 space flights. In the arts, Anne Spencer was a Harlem Renaissance poet and the mother of Chauncey Spencer. She is the only Virginian whose works are included in the Norton Anthology of Modern American and British Poetry. After settling in Lynchburg, she established Lynchburg's first lending library for blacks and helped found the local chapter of the NAACP. Frequent visitors to the Spencer home included Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Langston Hughes, Dr. George Washington Carver, W.E.B. Du Bois, and Jackie Robinson. Carl Anderson was an American singer, film and theater actor, best known for his portrayal of Judas Iscariot in the Broadway and film versions of the rock opera Jesus Christ Superstar. Born in Lynchburg, Carl was one of 12 children and attended Dunbar High School. After enlisting in the U.S. Air Force for 2 years, he returned to Lynchburg and graduated from Dunbar, then moved to Washington, D.C. to pursue the entertainment profession. He eventually signed with Motown Records in 1972, and several of the most recognizable albums he released would bear his distinctive mark, including his work with Stevie Wonder on his double album, Songs in the Key of Life. The march continues. More recently, Dr. Edward Barksdale Jr. graduated from the Harvard Medical School in 1984 and has been in practice for more than 20 years. Currently, Dr. Barksdale specializes in pediatric and general surgery in Cleveland and is affiliated with the UH Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital and University Hospitals in Cleveland Medical Center. A native of Hampton Roads, Virginia, Dr. Michael Elliott and his family moved to Forest when he became Vice President of Operations for Central Health. Dr. Elliott currently serves as Senior Vice President and COO of Centra. He holds a Doctor of Pharmacy and a Master of Science in Health Administration from Virginia Commonwealth University's Medical College of Virginia. After coaching at Hargrave Military Academy, the University of Kentucky, and UNC Wilmington, Kevin Keats, a Heritage High School graduate, is currently the men's head coach at North Carolina State University. Kalila Brown Dean is an associate professor of political science at Quinnipiac University and was the Peter Strauss Family Assistant Professor of Political Science and African American Studies at Yale University. She received her PhD in Political Science from The Ohio State University in 2003 and a BA in Government from the University of Virginia in 1998. Dr. Brown Dean is a native of Lynchburg, Virginia, a graduate of EC Glass High School, and holds a key to the city of Lynchburg. The question remains, why do we need to look backward, and why do we need to tell these stories to our children and to our children's children? When I researched the lives and careers of these accomplished individuals, I learned that collectively they overcame a myriad of challenges, with racial discrimination being only one. But through their determination and commitment and the encouragement of the adults in their lives, they continue to march forward. We are optimistic that the march will continue, but we must all commit to ensuring that it does. We can encourage our young people to do their best, to pursue their talents, to ignore naysayers, and to commit themselves to being the best that they can be. And young people, refuse to give up or give in. Ignore the haters and keep marching forward. Perhaps Dr. King said it best. Let us remember his words as we continue to march. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. With this faith, we'll be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Looking back,